Listening to BearatNight podcast with your host, Jurassic Parker.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, non-binary, this is the BearatNight podcast. And I think, let me get this show on the way because we have been talking before we even started the show and just looking at each other's collections right now. And I am flabbergasted at some of the things he has over his side of the town. Man, this guy I've been following for quite some time, and he has one of the best iconic status, right? He-Man cosplay of all time. I'm just saying. I put it out there. It's true. It's there. We all know. Demetrius Holt, everybody.
I appreciate
HellSpawned Cosplay is in the house. It's on my podcast. BearatNight. We made it. We did it. Yes. Okay.
Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Man, thank you. You're on my list of people I've been wanting to talk to for quite a long time. I would say probably since COVID, because I was doing my little live IG stuff, and I wrote down a list. Okay, I want to talk to this person. I want to talk to this, but then everybody started going back to work. so it was a little difficult to try to get anybody else. But now we hear it's the present day, and man, so much has gone on, and man, and I think it was just the other day, and I saw what you posted. I was like, I gotta get this man on my pod right now. I gotta get this man on the pod. This has to happen. Yes. Well, man, yo, you've been cooking, man. You've been cooking some good stuff over there, and I just gotta say thank you for putting what you've been putting out. The positivity, the love of what you do, and oh man, it speaks volumes, bro. And just you as a cosplayer and fellow nerd, it's just, man, it's really dope to see. And I did not know that you was gonna have so much stuff behind you. I'm always used to my stuff, but it just always it triggers me with so much joy to see other people have the same amount of stuff as I do, so I don't feel alone.
Yeah, no. There's trust me, people got collections that are endless and that are bountiful. I have stuff that really does reflect my childhood, and what I was telling you before. Whenever we want to complete, something like a hunt that we've been looking for as far as toys or whatever, and you kind of have this empty feeling. You know what I mean?
Yes.
I've had these Marvel couples. I've had Spider-Man and Mary Jane for the longest time. And I was thinking, I gotta get the last two, or the only other two in that series, which is Cyclops and Jean Grey and Gambit and Rogue. And as soon as I got them, I was like, well, that's done. So
yeah,
I guess I just gotta move on to something else. And it's difficult to let go of something that you've been looking for so long. And you and you and I were talking about the Power Ranger stuff. I've been looking for Titanus in a reasonable price for a while. I need to get the Warrior Wheel. I need to get the two in Space Rangers. And then you reminded me that I forgot all about Pyramidas.
Yes.
Because I'm just trying to do the Zordon
era.
Eltar. Yeah. But
yeah,
if I had to be honest with you, my top two seasons of Power Rangers would be
okay. I gotta love this.
Would be Ninja Storm and SPD.
Okay.
The reason behind that is because I'm a superhero guy. I'm a guy that loves abilities and working in tandem with other characters. And those two are the only seasons that I can think of that the Rangers had external powers outside of the suits.
That is true.
And so that's what hit me differently about
Ninja Storm. Oh yeah, they did have their own. Yeah, they did have their own external powers. That's right.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I keep forgetting that. You know what? I think because when I think of external powers, I think of Dino Thunder, and they had their little external powers and stuff too.
Yeah.
So,
That's in my top 5, definitely.
Yeah, and I always think they get the Ninja Storm get them because they're ninjas and stuff. I didn't think of that's the actual thing. I think because they didn't use it as much, only probably when they was like in Ranger, like the ninja form and stuff. Yeah, but definitely is SPD. But I love SPD so much. So SPD. SPD. I mean, a cop drama, but
SPD and Time Force, they kind of like. See, that's what I'm saying. My top 5 is SPD or Ninja Storm, SPD, Dino Thunder, Time Force, and I'm still struggling whether I want season 1 or season 2 of MMPR. You know what I mean? Because
that's a hard one though. That's a I love MMPR, but I always felt Jason got the raw end of the deal by season 2. Jason Officer St. John.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
He got the raw end of the deal. You know, he was the leader. He was the guy. He defeated the King Sphinx by himself, and you know he didn't need nobody help. He did all his stuff. He could be with the team, or he could do it by himself. You know, he had the T-Rex, but then by season 2, he became like the second in command, and like he got demoted, and he didn't say nothing. He didn't say nothing about it. It's just like, you got to do soap. You got to do soup. Oh, okay. So
no, but see,
how he become?
Because when Tommy came in, he took all of them out.
Yes.
I mean,
yes.
And it took Greenwood. Was it Greenwood episode 3?
Yes.
When he morphed into that, and he got into the Megazord. Like, come on, that's iconic. That's a moment right there. That's being posterized. Like, you had 5. Like, usually the good guys jump that one. How did one person jump 5 people?
And then he jumps in there. He comes to their house. He come in their house.
Right.
And knock them out. And kick them out. Right. And it was one of those things that you didn't expect. Like, one, you didn't know there was a back door. Like, you was trying to figure out how did he get into the thing. But you just see him. He just open the door. Like, hey, I'm here. Right. And then also, like that moment where you have that moment. you got Tommy throwing the Blade Blaster at Jason, just here you go.
And then how he do? He's the only Ranger that we saw that had a Hadouken. Hadouken. You know what I mean? Like, come on. He's the only one throwing Hadoukens out there like he had nothing.
But I would say I like Jace. I like Tommy as the Green Ranger, the evil Green Ranger, because he was just so much more powerful. But then also he had Reed on his side, so he could do the Hadouken and stuff. Because when he switched sides, he didn't have those powers no more. He wasn't as strong as he used to be. So, I mean, it is what it is. But I'm just saying, but he came to be a White Ranger, and then Jason just gotta be like pushing aside. I just felt like,
to be honest with you, if you want to compare the two, Jason's T-Rex was the base for the Megazord, right?
Right.
But then no other Zord was a base for a Megazord other than the Dragon Zord.
Megazord, yeah.
And then that was the same case with the Tiger Zord. So when you are the base for an entire Megazord, you kind of already have leadership qualities, because
you're right.
When you think about Time Force, the Q-Rex, he didn't. I'm not sure if he merged with anything, but he was a Megazord on his own.
No, yeah, he was on his own thing. He was on. I don't think he ever, I
don't think so either.
He just his own solo thing. Yeah.
But that's the thing. Like, and if Ninjor was, was commanded by somebody, or like the same thing with the Magna Defender. He was a 6 Ranger. All these 6 Rangers had, separate, Megazords that let them. That 6 Ranger was really also the first Ranger. Like, he was also he could lead the team. He or she could lead the team. That's all I'm saying. Like, that's how they set them all up. Like, even
the White Ranger, the Tiger Zord became he was his own warrior Zord as well too. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, I just got the figure too the other day, like the little action figure version of it. Yeah, it makes sense. You know, you're right. You're right. I just wish Jason would have fought a little bit harder.
I mean, it's
Just fought a
different.
little harder.
Yeah. Because Jason had the qualities of like leading people. He was like, I'll take the shield. Because I'll take the shield, but you're better with a sword than I was. He knew his limitations.
Yes. True.
That's what a leader needs to do. And then like I haven't watched Cosmic Fury yet, but I did watch Dino Fury, and that Gold Ranger situation. When he came, he was like, "Yeah, so I'm taking that leadership situation up off you, son." I was like, "Oh, we're having real conflict."
that was dope. I remember. I did like that. He just showed up like, "So yeah, I'm the leader now." I'm leader. Like, oh, he didn't didn't tell you. Oh, he didn't tell you. I'm above him. I'm over him. Like my rank is over. I'm his boss.
Yeah. And see, I like that.
That was dope. Man, we can go on, bro. Dude, what? How long have you been doing cosplay? It just seemed like out of nowhere because I remember seeing Eric the Smoke Duran. One of my idols. He's one of the guys that help me get to the cosplay more and stuff. Okay. And then that's when I got introduced to your cosplay page and everything because he was doing Skeletor. And then it flux. Here you come with your He-Man, and I'm like, who the hell is this guy? Like with muscles on muscles, but actually fits the bill. Like this ain't no suit. Yo, it's like who is this guy with the fro? Like I didn't know what to think of it, and I was like automatically like follow. I don't know what's going on, but follow. This is cool.
Black as shit. This is black as shit. I like it.
Yo, it really was, dude. I mean, the whole, and it's like I couldn't see. I was reading the comments at the time. You had some people saying little stupid stuff, which is always going to be that way, and I've learned that over the years myself. But a lot overwhelmingly was just like positive reviews because it was just a different take, and it was just like, this is dope. This is dope. Also reminding me like of the Proud Family, the baby in Proud Family, and he was just got older. He got a little fro. It's like, this is him as a baby. It's him as a grown man now. The fro just kept this. It was so dope, and like it matched everything, like the look. And I'm like, this dude didn't need no body paint, nothing to make no abs and stuff. Wow. It's just like this guy. He put the work in. He put the work in the whole thing, and I was like, he got it. He got it. And then you did something that I was most recently that I was just like, he won. Because you did a Cyclops.
Oh,
you did this. Now, for me, I was the only one who had ever done a Cyclops cosplay.
Okay.
But people kept asking me if I was Bishop. That was the problem. Everybody, that was the problem.
How do I have a visor and you still think I'm fucking Bishop? Oh, it's because I'm black. Oh, okay. Like
that was the thing.
Just admit your racism.
It was just white folks or black. It was just like a good number, a little bit of people, but it was like, I get the suit, I get the visor, because I was going with the first class look from I saw on as a concept art, whatever, and I was like, this is what I'm doing. This is dope. I braided my hair. My hair was long at the time, and I braided it back, whatever. But this is the look. I'm like, I don't got no red scarf or nothing, but that's yours. Yeah, no M, nothing. And now, mind you, I did do a Bishop a few times in the past. It was fun, but I wanted to do something different, switch it up. But then I saw yours, and I was like, oh yeah, he got that. Ain't no way you gonna tell me that's Bishop. Ain't no way. You cannot say he's Bishop at all. That is right there. That's Cyclops. That's Cyclops. Like, and thanks to Loki, we could just say they're variants now. We have variants.
That is a very touchy subject for some folks. Like, don't call me a variant. I am the character itself. Why would I want to be a variant? Because like it's like a cop out for people who want to be racist, and we accept that by accepting the fact that I am not the main character. I am a variant of it. It's like it's a cop out for both sides, and I'm not sure if I really fuck with it. Like, I'm sorry, I don't mean to.
No, you go ahead. Yeah.
I'm not sure if I really like mess with it like that to the point where call me. No, I'm He-Man. No, I am Hawkman.
Yeah.
I am. You know what I mean? Like, I am these characters, and if you can't accept the fact that I look different than what you're used to, then let's just look at like examples from like Mortal Kombat. Right now, Mortal Kombat characters can look like almost anybody. You know what I mean? Like Scorpion can look like Sub-Zero, vice versa, and it's just about the type of armor set that you have. I mean,
by the way, he does a dope Sub-Zero as well. Just saying.
Oh, thank you. Yeah. Like it's just. But then, like, the thing is, a lot of my cosplays are based on the lore of the character. And it may not make sense to some people because they only know cursory knowledge of the character. You know what I mean? Like, people say like, "Oh, you're Cyclops. You must be an X-Force Cyclops." I'm like, "No, I'm a BLM Cyclops." You know what I mean? Like, and I go through an entire story as to why I came up with a black and silver version of Cyclops and why I hold my son the way that I do in some of the photos that you may have seen. You know what I mean? Like, that's a very personal situation for me. When it comes to like Sub-Zero, my tabard has a dragon medallion on it, and it's the same dragon medallion that was in either Deadly Alliance or Deception. When Bihan got that medallion, it was Kuai Liang, excuse me. When Kuai Liang got that medallion and his eyes turned from blue to white, and he got a big power boost, and that's when he became the Grand Master of the Lin Kuei. You know what I mean? The fact that I have that on there and no one else does, proves that I'm just different in the way that I tell stories with my cosplay. And the fact that I've got the dragon medallion on it, on the lapel, on the tabard, to me that means that it's so overpowering that it's actually starting to mutate that character. And so that's why I have like leather gauntlets with dragon claws, and that's why my face mask is an actual dragon, right? Because it's based on the power boost that he's got.
I love the storytelling that you're doing, the world building, like, so people understand, is brilliant.
Thank you. I mean, this is what we're surrounded with. We're surrounded by stories. Like, why can't we tell our own?
Yeah, it's beautiful. Like, it's funny because I felt like over the years I loved the overgrowth of popularity with black cosplayers. Over the years, like I've been doing cosplay since 2014. I think it's 2014. I started really officially, like, actually doing 2013. Yeah, but I was doing Thor. That was my thing, and I had to deal with people who's like, "Oh, you're Thor." I didn't know there was a black Thor. Like, and Thor was my thing because I was the only one that had long hair. I was the only one that could grow a beard at the time at the con. So everybody was taking pictures. Everybody liked it. It was dope. But I did have those moments of drawbacks. Oh, I didn't know there was a black Thor. I did, and I couldn't just say be happy just to, like, instead of like get into an argument or whatever whole debate. I couldn't just say I'll just a variant. Just to shut somebody up. You
couldn't exist in the space that you were in, right?
Yeah, it wasn't so many black. Like I said, it was a lot of black cosplayers at the time. Like, I had it was a short list of people I could look at, like Nightmage, Smoke. They were the guys that I saw in other states that was doing it. So I'm like, that maybe really want to do it more. But around here, like Connecticut based or whatever, it wasn't a lot. Like I was doing Green Arrow and stuff. You didn't see as much.
There's not a lot of black people in Connecticut, my guy.
I mean, no. Actually, here's what people were getting wrong. I'm gonna let people understand. I don't care what y'all be thinking about the news or with movies and TV shows. There are black people here. There are a lot of black folks. It's just what they don't want you to see. It's just. You come to Connecticut. I'm gonna tell you, you see the nice areas. People think of like, Stamford, but the other areas of Connecticut, a lot of the areas, people think it's the beachside areas up there, more than New York area. That's where you're gonna get that, yeah. Or you get away from that, go hour in or hour or two from there. Oh yeah, you go hit some Negroes. You go get some Haitians. You go get some Jamaicans. You go get some Puerto Ricans. You go get Dominicans. I tell you.
All I'm saying is I've been to, like, I didn't start cosplaying until 2017, but I went to Rhode Island Comic Con to interview JDF in 2016 when I was hanging out with the fellas with the Neuropocalypse, and that was, you know, it's funny how things come full circle eventually. But I went to Rhode Island Comic Con and didn't really pay attention to the landscape because I really wasn't in that mode. But you know, I had never thought to go back to Rhode Island Comic Con either. But then just either last year or so, they hit me up like 3 to 4 weeks before the convention to try and give me a booth so that I could exhibit or so I could just be like a featured cosplayer. But I'm like, you hit me up 3 weeks before a convention and there's no rooms that y'all are going to give me, no rooms, you're not going to cover my travel, you're not going to do any of that, and yet you expect me to be there. Like, am I a diversity hire? Like, is that what's happening right now?
That's what it sounds like.
And then looking at their lineup, they had no black people there, you know, for any cosplayers or whatever. I'm like, yeah, I'm good. Like, I don't have the time. I don't have the need. And there is a stark difference between who I was when I first got into cosplay versus who I am now. Whereas, you know, there would have been a part of me that's like, maybe I do need to make that 8-hour drive to get up there, pay for room so I can get some exposure, so I can, you know, so I could just say that, yeah, I was at Rhode Island Comic Con, you know, like a super prominent convention and have that in my resume. But then for what? Like, what would I have been moving towards? I didn't really know what my path was until certain things happened, you know, like, you know, when you start to look at the landscape and you got, like, you know, kids that want to be Black Panther for the first time, you know, you start to see that representation and Black heroes mattering is a thing, you know, that you need to like lean into, because that affects you as a person as well. Because like, personally for me, I've never seen myself as being some hero without me being in the place of that hero. Like, I've always in my mind replaced that hero with myself. I was just built that way. So like that He-Man design, that afro and that loincloth and the way that I did it, that's something I came up with when I was 4. You know, and I just hate, because I'm 39 years old, so I was in the perfect time for He-Man, you know, 1988, 1999, 1989 or whatever, and it just stuck with me. And when I got into bodybuilding, and that was like the next thing, you know, just something for me to do, it was like I was going to do He-Man one good time just to get it out of my system, you know. And I did that 14 months into cosplaying, because I got started in 2017, and so I did that in October 2018 at Baltimore Comic Con for the first time, and I thought it was going to be the last time that I did it. Right. And I was wrong. So, so I say all that to say is that you don't know what your path in cosplay is going to be until you just live and exist in it and just move how you know, would truly move. Like, there's no reason to pander to people. There's no reason to take suggestions. Like, you do what you want to do. You know? And wherever the path, you know, takes you, it takes you. You know, I'll be honest with you, I am super thankful that He-Man popped the way that it did, because I've been able to make a difference in a lot of different areas because of that popularity.
Like, it's not just diversity, it's just like the fact that when people look at it and they didn't, like, you just didn't waver of, oh, this is a black guy playing a white character, whatever, like, or cartoon, which is make believe anyway. You know, it's just like, oh, that's dope ass He-Man. That's a dope ass He-Man, you know, cosplay. How did you feel like that first time you get into that mode, or cosplay mode? Because it's like, seeing how, like, going to a con for me outside of being in the costume feels weird. Like, to me, like, I feel like I don't feel right without being in the costume, because I'm here now. It's just like, because you get so used to it, you love the creativity of it, but like that moment when you actually get to put it on and you this character, how do you feel when you put that suit on? You know, especially like, you know, something like He-Man or your you know, your Cyclops or even Spawn? You know, like how do you feel when you get into that mode? Like what's the thought process before you
Okay.
know?
Well, so the thing is that when I first started cosplaying, my first one was Kratos. You know what I mean? And I just
That's
thought,
right. Yes, I saw. Yeah, I saw that.
yeah,
Yes.
that was, you know, I mean, I don't know. I just kind of got into it because, you know, I'm gonna have to get into. If I'm gonna do something, I'm gonna do it. So that's why I shaved my head, you know, and when full body paint, and you know, just didn't really speak to anybody or whatever, you know, and it was fun that people wanted to interact with me because I did look the way that I did, and that was the first time that I cosplayed. So I didn't know really, I did not know really what to expect,
Yeah.
you know. But I immediately got hit with, let me take a picture, 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 you know what I mean, and stuff like that. And then I kind of got brought into a company called Figure This in 3D because they wanted me to do a 3D scan of of the cosplay, and my mom liked the idea so much that she's the first one to drop like $700, you know, on a premium like statue that was 14 inches. You know what I mean? And like they were like, yo, if we can, like, you know, display your character, or you be a part of it, like we would pay for you to come to conventions and you just basically rock with us. I'm like, well, shit. That was like the first taste of, and that was the first time that I cosplayed, that I'm going to be going to a place that I would want to go to, but for free, but I'll just be working a booth. Like I'll be, you know, I was like, oh, okay, so this, and apparently this was not the normal course for a lot of cosplayers. It really wasn't. And I see, you know, in hindsight, I see how things were different for me than it has been for a lot of people. But, you know, I have to accept the fact that everyone's different and everyone's path is going to be different. It's just how you navigate it, whether you are an asshole or whether you are, you know, someone who is appreciative of, you know, of any opportunity that you get. You have that choice. You know, as an adult, as a 39-year-old man, I have that choice to, no, I don't have a choice now because this is just who I am, but you have a choice to, you know, as far as what path you're going to take. And I've never been an elitist. I've never been someone who has, I mean, I've had to grow because I came from a competitive mindset. I always thought that when I got into cosplay, I thought it was a competitive sport type deal.
Right. Oh, okay.
Because when I first got in, people were like, you know, saying you should join the cosplay contest.
Oh,
you know?
yes. Yes.
Oh, so we can compete, you know, and I did not understand what that meant. You know, it was just like, you know, does one look good? How well they crafted it? Like that's what it is, as opposed to having a rivalry with somebody, you know, and being in sports or being in bodybuilding, like you develop rivalries with people, and that was just who I was, you know what I mean? And that dog did not hunt with a lot of people within the cosplay community, because a lot of people within the cosplay community are introverted nerds, and having someone that is an extroverted, you know, athlete, immediately I became like the bully, you know.
Wow.
And it turned into a thing where I had to just find my tribe, you know. Eric Moran, you know, he is a former, you know, Marine and a former like pro wrestler. So, you know, any shit that I was popping, he was popping shit back to me. I'm like, oh, okay, well, you have fun with this. Let's have fun. And that's how we started developing our dynamic. And like, he threw me in the fire a few times. You know, you know, one of the first opportunities I had to table at a convention, I think it was the first, it was a Philadelphia Comic-Con, and he gave me 4 days to prepare. He said, since you want to be at a convention or whatever, because I was just trying to get my free tickets, but since you want to be at a convention so bad, here, you got a table, make sure it's popping, or else everyone's gonna know that you ain't really shit. I'm like, fuck, all right, you know. So I had to get like a banner made, I had to get some stickers, I had to get some like prints and all that stuff. So, and I came ready. Like I showed up that Saturday morning and I had my display ready and all that stuff. Like, you ain't going to make me look bad. And then from that point on, I think I earned his respect. Yeah. And then we were just rocking from that point, and I just developed more and more rivals that became friends. Like, this is definitely like an anime story. Whereas, you know, Richard Sutton, you know, he's my man at arms, you know. And now I've had a few other people who I've fucked with, to the point where now, like, you know, Sir Julius Cosplay, who's like everyone's Blue Beetle, you know, he and I we met a few years ago on this one project that we did, this one Power Rangers project, and he was the Ermac Ranger and I was, Sub-Zero Ranger, and we've been rocking as far as just being like boys, like for since then, and like we've just been able to just click because we have a certain work ethic, we have a certain mentality that other people don't have, and so many other things have just fallen into place, and so many other people have just fallen away because they're not my tribe, and I'm okay with that. I've lost a lot of people who I used to call friends because they just weren't for me, and as soon as He-Man popped, a lot of people turned into enemies because I got the attention that they wanted, and like the attention that they have been looking for years, and I'm like, I'm in this 14 months and I'm already getting it.
You know what? Everybody's path is different though. Like you were saying, especially when it comes to cosplay. Like I talked to Tyler Sheen, and just talking to him and his path into cosplay hasn't been that long at all either. But he's been doing an amazing job. And the face. I don't know what's going on. But so I can't. So
I mean, you say a certain name and a certain beef comes up because I'm like,
no, is it because is it Spawn? Is it Spawn related?
Oh no, he can't match my Spawn because his shit don't fit. I'm sorry, you can't tell me his mask works for him and he has to keep looking up because he can't see through the like if you're gonna have a suit, my guy,
this is the competition.
make sure it fits. You know what I mean? And then if you're gonna be at conventions saying that you won your trophy, this, that, and the third, why are you competing in cosplay competitions that you paid for when it comes to your cosplay and other people are there who made their stuff? And like how does that prove that you're someone to be revered? You know what I mean? Like the things I don't even look for. Like he's blocked me because I'll tell him the fucking truth because he and I have had conversations before about how shitty he actually is, and people can't take constructive criticism for the stuff for the bullshit that they do. But I'm not going to sit here and listen to you talk to these young cosplayers and say stuff that doesn't make any sense for their careers, but it makes sense because you're still healing from being traumatized because people called you fat or people called you ugly or people called you black. You know what I mean? So that kind of vitriol that you have, that you put out there to the people and for these people to learn from you, no. If somebody's going to be there to say something that's completely different in an open forum, if it's going to be me, I'm going to do that. And if you can't handle it, don't have open forums. Talk to your people within your own little, microcosms. Don't be so brave to have people come into panels and then have them dispute what you're saying because what you're saying doesn't make any fucking sense.
Right. Right.
And then, so I mean, like, I got issues with people like that when they want to spew, their hatred onto other folks and think that that's something of a lesson to teach them. When people out here have more of an opportunity than his ass does, because what does he do? He buys the cosplays and then he passes them off as something that should be revered. And true, there's any number of ways that one can cosplay. I buy my stuff, I modify my stuff. That's fine. But when you sit there and try to compete against people who make their own stuff, that's not fair. You can't sit here and say that you didn't pay $1,000 for that Spawn cosplay, and then you're standing next to people who spent 1,000 hours putting their stuff together and they got second place because yours was bought. That doesn't make you a cosplayer worth championing or anything like that. You know what I mean? Like if you're going to compete in a contest, compete in a real contest like at New York Comic Con, or compete at something at like Blurcon or something like that. But oh wait, you can't do that because you have to be able to make 75% of your cosplay. But you're gonna go to these little conventions and start talking about how much how you're a first place, winner. That's the bitch made shit that I can't rock with. And they, again, check me if you can. You know what I mean? And I'm saying that's, if I'm going to be an elitist, I'm going to be an elitist on the fact that no, I don't compete in cosplays contests because that's not my place to do so. That's not that's not what I'm supposed to be doing. If I'm able to make, things, if I'm able to do what other people can't do, which is move folks from one place to another and then celebrate them the way I do with my Juneteenth events, the way that I do with any other random cosplay photo shoots that I put together, or the fact that I'm able to raise money for organizations or for good causes, then that's my role. I'm a producer. I'm not an actor. I am not somebody that is supposed to be in front of the camera. I'm supposed to be getting people in front of the camera so they can thrive, so they can shine. That's my entire purpose, is to make other people look good. And if you think that you are out here doing the most because you've paid to be in some cosplay magazines that don't last for more than maybe 2 or 3 years because no one's buying the books, you know what I mean? Like, you're not doing nobody no good, son. And I can just say, yeah, I've been in Men's Health and they asked me to be in it. That's an international magazine, my guy. Like, you are nobody. You are nobody to say that you're better than someone else because you haven't done shit. And that's going to be a word for you to. I hope he listens to this. I hope someone send this shit to him, and then let that be what it is. Because again, what has he done for the community the way that he's saying that he has? That's bullshit.
Oh, wow.
You are now listening to BearatNight Podcast with your host, Jurassic Parker.